What is going on, people? We are back. My name is Dante. We are ChezDante. And today we have...
Anthony Giovanetti.
How's it going, Anthony?
It's going well.
How have you been?
Been all right.
What have you been working on?
I've been working on...
Actually, sorry to cut you off, but tell the people what it is you do. We are here at 𝁟There Studios. You're one of the newer artists here, so tell the people what it is you do, how you got into it, and kind of like the origin story.
The origin story. Okay. I'm a painter. I mean, I do a bunch of different art stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've been here for a year. For the past, say, like 5 years, I've been doing a lot of painting, doing a lot of art crawls and stuff like that. And
Okay.
building up a bit of a reputation, I think, and a bit of a portfolio. And I applied here and did the Future History Today show, and that was really fun. And with that, I like a miniature thing, so miniatures is a big thing of mine as well. But as of recently, I've been doing these square paintings, like little tiny 4x4s.
Yeah.
And that's what's been keeping me busy.
Nice. What? Because I've seen your miniature work, and it's awesome. It's probably the coolest miniatures I've seen. How did that first start? Like, how do you even get into making smaller versions of things?
I think just watching art videos online. There's an artist that did a lot of TikTok videos years ago that did a lot of miniature stuff, and I just got the itch for it. Once you get into it, it's hard to stop.
True.
There's always something new you can make smaller.
Yeah.
And I mean that's how I got into it. But it's especially like dioramas and stuff like that. Like it's just super satisfying.
Yeah. Now, you said you're a part of the Future History Today exhibit. What was that experience like for you?
I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Just being able to do something with a bunch of artists in a space to just kind of make a bit of a wonderland of things and just have like my own corner to just like do whatever. Mm-hmm. It was a truly fun experience.
Yeah.
It seemed to be received well.
Yeah.
So.
The miniatures, is that something that you've been doing for a while along with the painting, or has it been like the last like couple of years?
I'd say that the miniature has been around for, I'd say like 3 years.
Okay.
5 years I've been kind of doing art professionally, independently kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's another thing that I think is interesting to talk about, because you say doing art professionally, right? What does that mean to you?
I think professionally, the way that some people have told me is like, if you get paid to do a painting, you're a painter. You're a professional painter. Yeah. Right. And I think I've been contacted or done commissions and worked on some projects, both paid, unpaid. I had friends that wanted help with like college art projects, stuff like that. So I think like you build up enough of a momentum, and then it's like I'm professional. Yeah. At least to my degree, I guess.
Well, I'm of the mindset of, once you kind of start getting paid, even if it's like a couple of dollars, you're a professional. Yeah. So you were working somewhere beforehand, and you're like, I'm gonna pursue art full time, basically?
I mean, my roots started off with like a place called _𝓜.
Yeah. Where is that?
Right now they're at the Gasworks, which is like a building close by here. And I mean, before that it was on James Street, but I mean it's kind of like one of those drop-in art studio type things. Yeah. And I started just going there 2019. Okay. So I was 19, and just going in there and just I was always an artist, always drew and stuff like that, but I got sort of coursed into that space because like free art supplies and you meet some new people. And I think it was like being with them for about a couple months and then being asked to do my first art crawl with them, and first time selling artwork and having a platform to do that. It
Yeah.
just kind of just snowballed from there, kind of thing.
Did you grow up in Hamilton?
I did. Born and raised.
Sorry?
Born and raised.
Born and raised?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Was art call something that you had always gone to growing up?
No, I was not very like exposed to a lot of like Hamilton culture
Interesting.
growing up.
Sick.
That was nice.
Yeah, I played quarterback in high school. No, I didn't. Professional key thrower.
That's funny. That's funny.
So you're saying you weren't really exposed to the art?
No, I was very sheltered.
Sheltered. Interesting. So, okay, so sheltered from Hamilton, we'll say.
Yeah, my parents never like took us out anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, so like it was kind of like very homebody, and then all of a sudden I'm like staying up till like 1 a.m. on Friday night, James Street.
Yeah.
Art crawls and just meeting the strangest people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just been fun.
Did you grow up on the mountain or down the mountain?
Down the mountain.
Down the mountain.
Yeah, around like Cannon, Barton area.
Okay. Well, okay, so that makes sense why everyone's like stay inside.
Yeah, no, like you know, there's some stories.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't grow up here in Hamilton, but I've been basically, I mean, I lived here for a bit. Like I went to school here, I went to Mohawk.
Okay.
And then I was living off campus for a while, and then I went back home, and then I ended up getting my own apartment here. So I lived here for a bit. And yeah, you kind of do hear some stories about Barton Street, Cannon area. Yeah. Don't go here, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like this kind of environment is pretty good for art, don't you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's kind of like diamond out of the rough kind of stuff. Like some of the coolest, just experimental artists come from like the strangest of places.
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. So,
who are some of the like the artists that you were looking up to throughout your journey as an artist? Like who are some people that are like, damn, that guy does really cool work?
Jeez. I think like on the grander scheme, you know, like I like 𝁟There and stuff like that. You know, I just started following like Instagram accounts for artists that I found really interesting that worked in like the industry or whatever. As I got more involved with like the Hamilton art scene, there were artists that I just kind of like try to keep note of.
Okay.
Just kind of say like, oh, like what are they doing? With, like, how are they setting up their markets and stuff like that? You know, and yeah. I don't know if you want names.
It's up to you. I mean, we could talk about whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Probably just keep that.
Okay.
Like secret.
Fair enough.
I don't want to like call anybody out or like.
Okay, you don't want to spill the beans.
I don't know.
No, that's fine. I get it. Okay, so what are some things that you've learned from these people that you're looking up to? Like you said, like, you know, how they're setting up their markets. Like, what are some of the elements that make someone setting up a proper market versus a not so good one?
I think it's just, you know, finding your niche, finding a click, and then just running with it. You know, I think like at first I was just making rando paintings and stuff, just drawings, and putting them on the ground, you know, and then just be like, no, I need a table. No, I need stickers. No, I need business cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just looking at it from like that perspective,
yeah,
and stuff like that, especially because they kind of either grew up wanting to do that at like a younger age than when I started, or they had friends that kind of they all bounced back from each other, especially because they all maybe wanted to go to Sheridan or stuff like that. So there was kind of just like they had already found a community of people that like figured that stuff out with them, kind of thing.
Yeah, it kind of helps to be, like you said, with a community, because you can like bounce ideas off people and like, oh, like you do this really well. Like, how can I kind of elevate and get closer to that level?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So did you go to art school? Or are you self-taught or?
Completely self-taught. Yeah. The original plan was to go to Sheridan.
Okay.
Life took a different course, I think.
Yeah. Sheridan for what?
I don't even know.
Drawing? just a drawing
just to
class?
draw something. I don't know. Like I think that's probably why I shouldn't have gone. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to get into like games. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Game design, concept art, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite games I just loved the artwork for.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Bethesda, like Fallout, Skyrim, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you always play games, and you were always fascinated by the artwork of the games? Is that kind of
Not even just like game artwork. Like I just remember growing up, going on like the bonus features for like movies, especially like superhero movies. And just watching like
the concept arts,
and just it's like I didn't see that in the movie. And
Yeah,
it's just the most wacky. My first experience is like the bonus features to Spider-Man. You know, 2002.
Yeah,
and just seeing like the different designs for the costumes, and the glider, and just the way that because like at the time I was like I don't know 5 or 6 watching that.
Okay,
like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just being like, because it's so much more mature artwork than like Treehouse, you know, like
true
kind of thing. You're like, this is what Spider-Man could look like, you know?
Yeah,
it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah, I had one of those books for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that show?
A little bit growing up. Yeah.
You gotta. I recommend this show always on this podcast. It's so much better and deeper and more profound than people give it credit for.
Yeah, agreed. I've heard that a lot.
So good. But anyways, I have this book, and like you're saying, it's like, oh, this is how Aang could have looked, and like, you know, this is initially it was supposed to be him and a robot, and then the robot ended up turning to Momo, and like all these different things, and you see the concept arts and all that stuff, the different like areas and how they came up with it.
Yeah.
Like in the book, they talk about how the creators of the show, what they started doing is, because in the show they have a lot of combination animals.
Okay.
Right? So they have a lion turtle, for example, or like they have they have just so many different ones, right? So initially that was just something that he would like doodle in school, like, oh, this is this combination, this is a sky bison, and so that he like just, and then all of a sudden he had all these different animals, and then that's how they kind of ended up in the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's cool to see like you're saying, that back end that you don't see in the finished product, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of stuff that you're seeing, like, you kind of wanted to create your own back end stuff, basically, which would then turn into the front end stuff, because you thought it was super interesting.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to be, like, looked at. You know what I mean? So just to be able to, like, draw, like, concept ideas for somebody else in the front would be, like, that was always kind of like a... sort of like a moderately decent prospect for me.
Okay.
Like, especially like when I was 16, 17, 18.
Yeah. Do you come up with your own characters and all that stuff?
No, I never really did like OC stuff growing up. Like
OC is original content, right?
Original characters content, I guess. Yeah, like it's but yeah, like I don't know. And that was the thing too, like growing up I didn't really like draw my own stuff like that. Like I liked copying like comic covers and stuff like that in the back of like math books and booklets and stuff like that.
Did you read a bunch of comics growing up? Or were you into comics at least?
Yeah, I think by the time I was like 16, 17, I started hitting up like Big B Comics. Just going through their bargain bin. Yeah. Stuff like that. I had some family members give me a few comics.
Nice. Who's your favorite?
Favorite comic?
Yeah, or superhero or whoever.
I don't know.
Who are your top 3? You don't have to. I'm someone. I don't really have like a favorite. Right. But I have like a general few. Like who comes to mind?
I like Conan.
Conan. Yeah. Sick.
Yeah, like just the big rugged guy going into town.
Yeah.
There's a secret, and he's got to like defeat the monster. And there's a captured girl. Like that's kind of the format of each comic. I mean, one of my big influences, John Buscema.
Who's that?
John Buscema, or Buscema.
And what did he do?
He just did a lot of the Conan comics for Marvel back in the day.
Okay.
you know, I think like that's like Conan's a huge influence I think, for me, just like for Zeta and John, and yeah, like that was a comic that I like really narrowed down when I first started buying comics, was just Conan comics.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was like, okay, I need to start getting Spider-Man comics. And those were just kind of fun too, right? Like, yeah, especially like the McFarlane series and stuff like that. And then that's 2. The third one, I don't know, Batman.
Batman's pretty dope.
Batman's pretty dope.
I once knew a guy who didn't know who Batman was, and I couldn't believe it.
How?
I don't know. I'm convinced this guy was lying, but I'm like, how do you not know who Batman is?
Reminds me of this joke that somebody I saw on like TikTok or something like that, where it was like, imagine that guy coming into Gotham with a bat and be like, I'm Batman. And
that's hilarious.
There was a joke about that. Some skit that someone did. He's like, no, I'm Batman. I was like, no, I'm Batman.
That's so funny. Did you watch One Punch Man? Did you ever see that?
I don't like anime.
You don't like anime?
I fucking hate anime.
Interesting.
Why don't can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't care,
cool.
dude. Do whatever you want.
All right, shit, cool.
Why don't you like anime?
I don't have like, I think that like the connection that people get when they watch it, like there's just like a light goes in their eyes when they watch anime, and I tried. The only anime that I like watched most of was Death Note.
Okay.
That was years ago though.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I tried watching One Punch Man, and it's too flashy. It's too stimulating.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially like even Avatar too. I can't get into Avatar.
Really?
It's too like.
That's not even an anime, according to some people.
It's in the anime style.
It's in the anime style, but it's American, so they don't consider it.
But even
anime.
just like Yu-Gi-Oh and just like that I grew up watching that like Cartoon Network, and I just could, anything that was like anime-ish or had that.
So you don't like the flash and the explosions.
I don't like those.
The screaming. But you like the ruggedness and the brutality of like Conan, right? Because that's like.
I would say more the gothicness of it. Like this has more like dark castle.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then like you don't watch anime. What do you watch?
A lot of Marvel stuff.
Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty basic, I guess.
Marvel's not bad. I love Marvel. You've been watching Born Again?
Fucking love it. The last episode, I've been playing the song on repeat.
Which song?
It's, I forget the name of it, but it's like a remix of a choir song.
The one that they played right at the end?
Yeah. And I like instantly had to find that on YouTube.
What's it called? Oh, you
I
don't
can't
know.
remember the song.
Damn. I know, it was a banger.
It was great.
So you've been just waiting every Tuesday, 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
Boom, logging
Me
in.
and a friend, another artist friend of mine, will like watch the episode and we'll like text each other while we're watching it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, did you see that?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So because I love the show. I think Daredevil is one of the greatest shows.
One of the greatest superheroes of all time.
All time.
Yeah.
You know, and Born Again is coming in hot. You know what I mean? Like, just banger after banger. And I'm like, they did that one filler episode. You know which one I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, well, there's really a filler episode in this. And then, but they did a double release that weekend or that week.
That was Christmas for me.
Yeah.
So good. It was so good. Yeah. But yeah, this one more episode. I heard they're already filming season 2 now.
Okay.
Wait,
so there's only 9 episodes?
There'll be 9 episodes.
Now I'm sad.
Yeah, right.
I didn't want to know that.
One more week. Yeah.
Did you watch Loki?
I did watch Loki.
What do you think of Loki?
I think that was a really good show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I think especially like this late in the game, like Marvel either like really hits or it just fucking flops.
Yeah.
And that Loki was good.
Loki was really good.
Yeah.
Out of like, what would you say your favorite Marvel movie is out of like the MCU stuff? Did you see Brave New World?
I didn't say Brave New World.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I think it was supposed to be called New World Order, but then they changed it.
Yeah, it was too on the nose.
A little too on the nose. and yeah, Red Hulk shows up for like one scene or whatever.
I didn't like. I hate spoilers. Like, I take it so serious because I've watched so many Marvel movies to where I can kind of predict the plot because they kind of have to follow a specific thing. Yeah. So when you've watched enough, all you need is one detail and you already kind of know where it's going. Yeah. And then as soon as they announced Red Hulk, I was like, oh, come on, dude, spoiler alert.
No, they really, I don't know why they don't explore more with Hulk. It's like the Hulk.
2008 Hulk, one of the best movies. The Incredible Hulk.
2003.
2003 is also really good, but I mean, in terms of like the Hulk as a character, like the way he was looking in the Incredible Hulk, and like, I don't know,
I wasn't too fancy on that one.
Really?
No, I think like the story is like it's a typical Hulk story.
Yeah.
Right, but it's yeah, it was a little too dark.
For a Hulk movie?
For a Hulk movie. For like the genre that like Marvel was. I mean, it was their second movie.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, they had to experiment a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, wow, yeah. What would you say your favorite? We'll go favorite Marvel show,
right,
and then favorite
Marvel
movie, or a group.
Right. Favorite Marvel show. I think the first time I saw like the first season of Daredevil, right? Like it's just like this is too good. Like the opening scene in the hallway.
Yeah.
That's just like, set the tone of it.
Yeah.
You know. And I watched like up until like the Defenders and stuff, and I had a really good time watching that. Mm-hmm. So just like I think like that era of just like those shows.
Netflix Marvel era.
Yeah, but like I don't know, pretty basic answer, but just like the original Avengers, or first Iron Man.
Ooh,
like first Iron Man is just
yeah.
I think I just have like an emotional connection with that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember like that movie came out and my parents bought me my first comic.
Okay.
And we were at Wasaga Beach and there was like this ice cream stand and there was like just a rack of comics and one of them was like an Iron Man, but based off of like that movie.
Yeah.
During the same time.
Yep.
And I still have that comic, but it was like and I remember like playing with cardboard and just trying to make my own Iron Man suits. And
sick.
Like that movie really like.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Iron Man 1, classic. I would say that one's up there for me too. I like the first Iron Man.
But is that your favorite, or like what would be your favorite show to movie?
Okay, favorite Marvel show, I think it's got to be Daredevil and then Loki. Those are like the top two ones.
Oh yeah.
Like season 2 Loki. Here's what I'll say. I was so excited for the He Who Remains character. I thought where they were going with that was going to be so sick, and then they canceled it.
Why did they cancel it?
No comment.
No comment?
You know why, though, right? You heard? You saw?
I remember being really into it, like just the news. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what he did.
You forgot what he did. That's hilarious. But I was like, oh, this is going to be so sick because now they're doing the whole time thing and da-da-da-da-da. And then they're going to make that into the movie. And I was,
I liked how they brought him in with Ant-Man. I thought that was really fun.
Ant-Man 1's up there, too, for me.
Ant-Man's such a good movie.
Yeah. Ant-Man 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are fire. And Captain America Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Yeah. And Avengers 1 you got to throw in there as well. And Infinity War, like, just bangers, you know what I mean?
No, we that was a beloved era.
Yeah.
I wish we were back there every day.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't say this was the best movie, but the Fantastic Four Silver Surfer had, like, just some of the most banger frames. You know what I mean? Like, just when he goes through the building, or like goes through the bus, and it's like they gotta bring him back. I doubt it though.
Is a very like up there character.
Yeah,
that's another comic that I really like, is Silver Surfer.
I have a bunch of Silver Surfer comics actually. He was the first comic book that I had. It was Silver Surfer, and they were like old comics too. Because my dad used to collect comic books, so then I inherited his like Silver Surfer ones. Okay. But just the idea of like lone wanderer type, questioning reality. What am I even doing here?
Well, what else is there to do when you're roaming around the space trying to look for plants for your boss to eat?
Yeah,
like that's such a sick concept.
Exactly, I mean? It's so good.
I think between him and like Doctor Strange, 1970s comics, like those are just fucking
so sick.
Amazing commentaries. I think.
Who would you want to see them bring into the Marvel universe that's not already there? Like, do you have a character where it's like they need to bring this person in? Conan?
That'd be really funny. Conan just coming out of nowhere. I mean, it sounds a little edgy, but just like, I want to see another Ghost Rider.
Ooh, yeah.
Like I just, Nicolas Cage did a pretty fantastic job.
Yeah.
I know they brought him in for the show that they had, Agent Carson.
Carter or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., one of those.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And, but that was a different one. But I just, Johnny Blaze and the whole circus and deal with the devil thing. Like, I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if that's within, because they're doing like the
Doomsday.
I was gonna say like the time traveling and multi-dimensional stuff. I don't know if they're gonna bring in like demonology type stuff into the
I see what you're saying, because they're focused. Like, it would be sick if demonology was the whole arc thing. Yeah. But right now it's the time travel and the multiverse.
I mean, they got the Scarlet Witch stuff. I think that kind of could be tied into it.
Yeah.
If they were to play with the demonology, and even like also going back like Doctor Strange. Yeah. The first one.
Yeah, they always the first ones are always so good. Yeah. Yeah, a new Ghost Rider would be sick. I was one of the characters that I was waiting for them to bring in, and then when they finally brought them in, they fumbled them. Okay. Was Taskmaster. Yeah. Taskmaster is one of my all-time favorite characters, and they just dropped the ball. Hopefully, I mean, they're gonna be in the new movie, but we'll see how that goes.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Exactly.
They did a costume redesign, everything. Yeah.
Did they for Thunderbolts?
Yeah, it looks different.
Oh no. Yeah. Moon Knight was good too. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Moon Knight was alright.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of ties in with the whole like afterlife and mythology, I guess, like that. Yeah,
the mythology stuff. I think also like, because are you into mythology at all? Do you study or read it or?
I study it. I like, I'm vaguely aware. Of the basic concepts. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that stuff is super fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just there being almost like archetypal stories. Mm-hmm. Right? It's kind of like, the same story you'll see in mythology is you'll see in the Bible, and then you'll see it in Marvel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's a little too broad for the kind of movies I want to see out of Marvel right now. Like, I want them to kind of do, I want them to stick to more like dated pieces.
Like time pieces.
Time pieces, like kind of like Fantastic Four, what they're doing with that right now.
Okay.
Like, it's very like, I guess like late 70s, like space travel type thing. Like, it's, a little too, it's like very futuristic with the robot as well. Like, that's really fun. I'd like to see like, just more of that kind of stuff.
I feel like, I don't think it's gonna stay like that.
No.
Like, if I had to guess, it's gonna start in the 70s and then it's gonna end up in like 2028, and then they're gonna be fighting Doom. If I had to guess.
No, I just want like old style costumes and
True.
like old cars being flipped around. Like I don't want Iron Man flipping around a Tesla truck. You know, what I mean? That's just sounds stupid. You know?
Yeah. So you'd want to see like more like history type, older.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think that's just something more artistically interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think like I'd rather like you could do futuristic Batman, you know, but
Yeah.
I want to see like a 1980s Batman.
Okay.
I think that'd be really like limit his technology,
Yeah.
limit the way his suit looks, make
Yeah.
it look a little bit more like dynamic and dramatic. You know, Spider-Man 2, like a 90s Spider-Man would be fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. Well, aren't they doing like a Spider-Man noir movie or something?
They are, yeah. Well, there you go. That would be, yeah.
There you go. Wishes are coming true.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the ones that I would want to see is I would want to see a slasher Carnage.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a full on like rated R. Like, oh, you know what was also sick? Logan. Logan was dope.
Logan was cool.
Deadpool was dope, obviously. Even Deadpool 3 was pretty sick.
Yeah.
But I wanted them to do like a full on slasher, gory, people getting split in half Carnage movie and just blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Those are my kind of movies.
Mm-hmm. I was really excited for the Venom movie, but it had that too like Sony-esque look to it. That's like.
That's why I didn't like it. I didn't like the Carnage in the second one, and I haven't even seen the third one yet.
No, third one's all right.
Yeah, there's a Venom horse. I saw it in the trailer. Yeah, I don't know. Like a Venom movie would have been. Sorry, a Carnage. Like if it was straight, just Carnage. Like I have. They did a run of like Carnage versus Deadpool.
Okay.
I thought that would have been pretty sick. Like Carnage just going around just killing people as usual. Mm-hmm. And then Deadpool has to stop him, I thought that was pretty sick. Yeah. But they're not doing that in the movies.
Yeah. Like I like what they're doing with the Superman.
Yes.
Yeah, but I kind of want to still see like a 1940s Superman.
This seems almost 19. I mean, it seems very futuristic.
But
it kind of feels old worldy.
It's got that old worldy. It feels like New 52 type.
Okay. Yep.
Like maybe not exactly that, but kind of see where he's going with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, I have high hopes for DC, but I've been let down every single time. Yeah. You know, I remember when the first Henry Cavill Superman movie came out, and I'm like, this movie's garbanzo beans. And it turns out that's one of the best movies they made.
Yeah, I went downhill from there.
Yeah.
I liked Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was good.
The first one. I didn't even see the second one.
I didn't see the second one.
Dawn of Justice I didn't like. I didn't even see Flash.
Flash was funny.
Flash was funny?
Not in a ha-ha funny, but like in a...
oh, okay.
This is kind of amusing. They released it.
It came out.
And all the stuff that he did too.
Yeah.
Putting people on headlocks, and they're like,
"Oh my goodness,
we gotta send this out quick."
Yeah, that's crazy. Putting people in headlocks. But like, I was like, you know, because DC has like a lot of sick characters and all that stuff, and they have really cool stories. Yeah. But I don't know why their movies just keep coming out the way they do. I
think it's just like they can't find the middle ground between it being too like dark and artsy, like Joker and the Batman movie, or it being like too cater to like the way the studio runs and films their movies. Yeah, like they need to kind of find like just a screen depiction of the character. Yeah, there was a thing that came out about I think it was like Allstate or something in the States. Okay. Where it was like a commercial for, but it was all like Batman oriented. Okay. So there was like this character called Bateman or something like that. Okay. But he was like the lesser version of Batman. Yeah. It's like, you know, if you're in Gotham and you're in trouble, you don't want Batman, you want Batman.
Yeah.
Same way that if you need insurance, you need Allstate. But all the characters were like true depictions to their like comic book counterparts, and people were making commentary about that online about how, like, you know, why does the Riddler look like the actual Riddler? Why does Catwoman look like Catwoman? Why everything, and even just the scenarios and scenes are very like built up to look like the same way you'd watch like the animated DC shows.
Yeah, those are really good. They do really good animated shows.
Fantastic.
But yeah, that's a good point. It's like, and you said that was like a series of commercials, or that was like a commercial?
Yeah, it was like a commercial.
Yeah.
And people were, just everything was so...
This is better than any movie you guys ever made.
No, it was better than like the 10, 15 years they've had with the DC universe. Was it like Shazam and all that? No, like it was
hilarious.
It was like, I had more joy watching the commercial than I did.
I have to watch that commercial. Shout outs to Allstate.
Shout out to Allstate. Or I think it was Allstate. I don't remember.
Well, insurance company. It was Geico.
Shout out to insurance.
Yeah. So we went a little bit off topic, but you have some paintings here.
I do have some paintings.
Tell me a little. You said this is something you've been working on with these. What do you call them? Squares or panels? What are you calling them?
I call them my little squares.
Little squares?
Yeah, like, I don't know if you can pick them up on...
Yeah, just hold them up.
Like Shrek.
Okay.
Yeah. Norman Bates from Psycho.
Hey.
Daredevil. We got
how much for this one?
These are all $20.
$20?
$20 a pop.
I'm going to have to buy that Daredevil one if you're willing to let go of that one. I know you're a big Daredevil guy.
Well, the whole idea is to sell these at Art Crawl, so
okay.
That's why I've been just pumping them out, just
true.
So I have something to like.
Art Crawl's tomorrow.
It is. I'm not doing that one.
You're not doing that one.
I'll do it next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come? You just don't feel like you have enough, or you're not ready?
I heard it was gonna rain.
Oh.
I don't think it's. I think it's too early. I think like May.
Okay.
Yeah, May's gonna be.
Okay, sick.
But yeah, I got a whole bunch of. These are all just kind of like from movies.
Mm-hmm. What's this one?
Oh, this one's just like kind of like an artsy-ish type thing. You got like a Steve.
That's hilarious. I just watched the Minecraft movie.
How was it?
Pretty good. Not even gonna lie. I went in there with low expectations, and pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what else I got in here? That's like fantastic.
Oh, sick. That one's pretty. I like that one too.
I was trying to go for like that 70s type,
Mm-hmm.
of, like the way they did cartoons back then.
Yeah. And you have even smaller ones too. Like, do you want to show those ones, or?
Yeah, these are. I don't know how they're gonna show up.
I might be able to zoom in. I don't like to do much editing, but.
That's fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of these small ones. I don't like doing these because they're not like made well and whatever. But there's just like a Spider-Man that I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I had like a flower. These are just kind of like basic ones.
So what inspired you to start doing these like small? I mean, you do miniatures, but now these are like miniature paintings.
Yeah, I mean they're cute. People see them and they're like, oh my god, it's
Yeah.
I'm not like new to that sort of market. I think
Okay.
like just square pop culture paintings, but they're easy to make.
Yep.
They're small enough where I'm okay selling them for pretty cheap.
Yep.
Right. And I'm just good at them. You know? And I always go back to them, and especially like as an artist, like trying to figure out what it is that I like to do and present.
Yeah.
You know, it's these are just kind of like, I think, the answer to what it is that I should be known for.
Yeah.
At least right now.
Yeah, they're in fighting game terms. Those are your B&Bs, your bread and butters.
Bread and butters? I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an artist, what is your take on all this AI art and ChatGPT and people doing the Studio Ghibli style and all that stuff?
There was a comment that I saw online that said, or it was excusing how AI is making art more accessible, which I think is a weird fucking take.
Okay.
Because it's like, what do you mean accessible? If you have a phone, you should have it, like the accessibility to a pencil and paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if accessibility is
you even have blood, you know, you could just if you're that serious
blood, piss
about
and
it.
shit, yeah, you can draw anything. You know?
Well, sorry, keep going.
That was really gross. I'm sorry. Yeah, like, you know, it's I don't understand that what that fucking means. Yeah, it's. I mean, the easiest answer is that it's a tool. I've definitely used AI to generate like concepts. Like I tried just experimenting. I was like, I don't know, Spider-Man going through the city, and it put out an image. I'm like, okay, I have an idea for a palette.
Yep.
Where Spider-Man should be, the kind of buildings that should be in the background.
Yep.
I'm not going to copy this.
Yep.
But at least it gives me like a visual stimuli to something that I can sort of use to transfer over.
Yeah.
Where if you were to take it side by side, it wouldn't look the same. I mean, it would be like, oh yeah, it's like maybe the same blues or whatever. Yeah, but I think that's like the ethical way to use it.
Okay.
And then there's people who, you know, and that's just on illustration parts. I mean, there's so many like AI generative technology things like for 3D modeling and music and stuff like that. Like it's just it's out of hand.
Does that is that something you're worried about, or are you just like, well, I know what I can do, so I'm not too worried about AI?
I'm worried that it's for what it is. Like it's a genie out of the bottle kind of thing.
Yep.
I think like already there's so much, I think, pain in the industry, or just in the culture for artists that sort of miss sort of aspects, even lost technologies or skills that just aren't there anymore.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, if I was in a different era, I would have loved to figure out how they were able to like mass produce comics, right? With the cell shading and all that. Like, that's a lost art. That's a lost technology.
Yeah.
But
lost knowledge.
Lost knowledge. Like that to me. That's probably the scariest thing.
Yep.
Is lost knowledge. Is like
that's what that is over there. Do you see that it says bird feed?
Bird feed?
Yeah, but that particular bird is a bird of knowledge.
Okay.
And he goes around collecting knowledge and stuff. I think it says something about knowledge on the side.
Thoughts, bird snack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thoth bird snacks. Thoth. So back to mythology. Thoth is the Egyptian god of wisdom.
Okay.
And when you look up the ibis bird, all they do is eat all day long. Right? So I made the connection of how you should always be eating wisdom and knowledge and trying to learn every single day.
Right.
Right?
It's good wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoth's bird feed. But yeah, I agree. Like, all that knowledge and wisdom, techniques, it's all going to disappear.
Yeah. Like I knew an artist that was, I'm saying this just by expression, but it was crying with the fact that like certain brushes don't even exist anymore.
Really?
Right? Certain brands are just out of, you know, certain paints. Like there's just, you know, so you can't emulate the things that you love anymore.
Oh,
to carry on. Especially when technology is moving so fast.
Yeah.
These things just get left in the dust and then they're gone forever. You know? And I think to just say that like, oh, it's fine. We could just kind of like type into this search bar and like just have what we want, and it doesn't even look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't look good right now.
But that's the thing. Like once it gets good, is that it? Like, are we just going to see advertisements with that technology? Because
I think we will.
Such a waste.
I agree. Look, I edit podcasts, right? And a lot of people edit podcasts with AI.
Yeah.
But you don't get that like that human error. You know what I mean? Like that.
I think it's the same way that like when you're doing old filmmaking, you kind of see that like fragmentation because people were using glues to like, you know, it's, I mean, that's still like, people still do that. I mean, for sure, I hope.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of like cutting and pasting that's just like, you're never going to get that again with this technology. Is that what we really want, or we just want the efficiency?
Well, so to answer your question about the advertisers, I don't think the advertisers really care, right?
Right.
They'll be like, oh, well, we used to have to pay an artist. Now we pay this one guy less to type in some words. And now we save money.
Yeah. Well, that's a weird thing. It's like, it's not even just the artist, but it's a department. It's photographers. It's lighting. People who work in lighting. You know, just advertising as there's a show that I fucking really like. It's pretty pretentious, but it's Mad Men.
Okay.
And just the change in the way that like American culture transitioned from the way that they did advertising to what they had to adapt towards. And very early on in the show, they start really looking into like how radio is not really so much bigger anymore. Now it's like television.
Yeah.
They make a television department, and they fire the art director because they just realize everything's all photography. There's no like, you know, illustration work anymore. Right? If you look at the like old 50s illustration advertisements for like airliners and stuff like that, like, and like just the draftsmanship of it is just completely gone.
Yeah.
And I think that sucks because it's like that just opens jobs and stuff like that, especially for people who like that's their drive, right? That's you know, and what's there left after so many generations of innovation? Right?
That's a good question. I do often think about that because eventually, do we become robots? Do we lose emotion? And if you have no emotion, do we even create art? Like, you know what I mean?
I think I'd take it a step further, and it's, you know, you just get depressed. So do we become
But
robots?
how can you be depressed if you have no emotions? Can robots be depressed?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
I think like if you set up a machine that's programmed to do a thing, and you deny them the ability to do that thing, they're going to short circuit.
Will they?
I'd think so. If they were intelligent enough and self-aware.
Okay, so if you made a self-aware robot that only draws lines, then eventually it'll short circuit because it knows that it could do other things, but it's only programmed to draw lines.
Yep.
But what if it doesn't have that? Have you watched Love, Death, and Robots?
Yep.
You know Zima Blue? You know that episode?
I may have watched it.
Okay, so Zima Blue, one of the best episodes they did, but it's about this. So it's this artist, and everyone's like, "Oh, who's Zima Blue?" And then he kept doing these bigger and bigger and bigger paintings, right? So he had this like specific shade of blue. And then he did like a big wall, and then he did a dam, and then he did a planet, and then he made the painting the size of a planet. Like, who is Zima Blue? How is he doing this? Da, 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 da. And he kept trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger and do these crazier paintings. But the artist himself wasn't satisfied, which is why he kept doing all these bigger and bigger things. But then it turns out is that he was a robot, right? But himself as a robot had evolved from a pool cleaner, right? So like he was built to just clean pools, like he was like just clean the tiles or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And then eventually he upgraded to where he had sentience and started doing all these things. He became an artist. But then he figured out, I was like, man, I need to go back to where I didn't have all this extra thinking and I was just living that simple life.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
No, I remember this episode now.
Such a good episode. I might have to go back and watch that.
The whole show, honestly.
Yeah.
Robot's been a while.
I think they came out with a new season, but I haven't watched the newer ones. But Zima Blue stuck out to me. Like, that one was crazy.
Between that and Black Mirror, those were back to back.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That one episode in Black Mirror with like the video game test, and they put the thing, that one messed me up for days.
Yeah.
Mostly because I hate spiders.
I thought it was the episode where it was like anything that was violent was censored for children.
Yeah.
That was an interesting episode.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
Well, because you were saying you're kind of sheltered, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then I forget what happened, and I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's like consider like it's an old show now.
It is. It's almost more than 10 years, probably.
Something like that. It came out like 2016, something like that.
Let me look this up.
That's so weird to think about.
How fast time is going?
Well, yeah, but also, you know, pandemic, and then life just kind of had to pick up, and then, you know, like the past 3 years for me has been crazy.
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
Right, with the pig episode.
Oh, the pig episode, yeah.
Pig episode. Right, that's crazy to think about.
That's 14 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy work. Well, we did 50 minutes.
Yeah, that was. I can keep going longer, but yeah, I don't know what your format's like.
50 to an hour is good. I usually end on asking you what is one thing that you're grateful for.
I think. I'm always giving more opportunities. Like no matter the way life turns, I always find opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. I love that. Grateful for the opportunities that are here and on their way and have passed.
Yeah.
Sick. We love it. I would say for me, one thing that I'm grateful for is opportunities, and then maybe even the ability to act on them. You know, like for you, I'm sometimes you might get an opportunity, but then you still have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's a skill, is getting better at recognizing and executing opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be able to work on that skill. Because sometimes I've let opportunities pass, but in hindsight and reflection, even being able to recognize that something is an opportunity and to execute on it is amazing. Thank you for doing the podcast, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, the Hit and Run Guy. So
The Hit and Run Guy.
Letter N, Run Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? The Hit and Run Guy.
Comes from the Simpsons Hit and Run video game. That I
classic.
I had a bad copy, so I could only finish the Homer portion of that. But I loved the Simpsons growing up.
Yeah.
When I got onto PlayStation 3, so like having to make an online persona, I was like Hit and Run Guy, and it just stuck. So yeah, you can find me on Hit and Run Guy.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Sick. Yeah, you can find me online at ChezDante, ChezDante. Follow your boy. Peace.